Hello, I posted a video a few months back. I think it was entitled something like Shop Locally, Scrounge Locally. Well, I've been doing some shopping locally and some scrounging locally lately. In fact, just the other night, and I'm going to tell you about it. But before I do that, you've seen these before. These mushroom crates. If you've got a Chinese restaurant in town, an Indian restaurant in town, any sort of restaurant in town for that matter, that uses lots of mushrooms, this is what they get them in, these crates. And they're a once used, throwaway item. How about that? They only use them once, then throw them away. That's where the scrounging comes in. Right, before we talk scrounging, what about these onions? I've kept that one, that's the biggest one I grew last year. And I've kept that one this long to prove that big onions will store. These onions that I'm showing you now have been in store in these crates in my garage through the whole of autumn and the whole of winter. So these onions have been in store 6 months. Now I've eaten a lot. We have eaten a lot of onions, but these onions have been in store. So if you're in the United Kingdom, or if you're gardening somewhere that has a similar climate, if you've got a garage and you've got some of these mushroom crates, you can store onions for 6 months. You can store onions for 6 months. Look what's under here. These are some of those banana shallots, those brown shallots. They've stored the whole of autumn and the whole of winter. That's got to be 6 months they've stored. They're sound as a pound. Sound as a pound. I've got some more here, I think. Yeah, look at these guys. They've stored okay. They're solid. Oh, here we've got one sprouted. So that's probably about the length of time that I can store onions to, a maximum of 6 months, and then they're going to start to want to grow again. But hey, that's good, isn't it? 6 months in store. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take these off the table and I'm going to tell you about Shop Locally, Scrounge Locally, that I've done quite recently, and suggest that you might want to give it a go. So, last night we decided we would have a Chinese takeaway. So I went down to our local Chinese restaurant, ordered the takeaway, and while I was in there, I took the opportunity to ask the owner, who I know quite well, did he have any used mushroom crates that he could let me have to use in the garden. Hey, check this out. And while you're checking this out, bear in mind that if he gives me these, I'm doing him a favour. He doesn't have to get rid of them. He's got rid of them. He doesn't have to send them to landfill. They don't have to go to the plastic recycler. I recycle them. Here at Homegrown Veg. You saw my onions in them. So I'm doing him a favour and he's doing me a favour. And bear that in mind. Now then, what I'm going to suggest you do is you do the same at one of your local restaurants. Remember, you're doing them a favour, they're doing you a favour. These are once used plastic crates that would normally go to landfill or the plastic recycler. That restaurant has got to get rid of these, and they'll be glad to give you them as they give me these. Hey, check them out. How many is there? I think there's half a dozen. Yeah, it's all there on the high street. Shop locally, scrounge locally. If you don't ask, you will not get. But you'll be pleasantly surprised when you do ask. In fact, the last time I got some of these from that restaurant, I can remember when I asked for them, you might have seen my video, shop locally, scrounge locally. There's lots of things on there. I'll tag it to this one. I'll give you a link to it. The last time I asked for these, the chap said to me, "How many do you want?" I said, "How many have you got?" And I think he gave me half a dozen the last time and suggested if I needed any more, I should go back through the week because he'd have even more for me. Hey, don't hang about. Shop locally, scrounge locally. Watch the video I'm going to attach now as a link to see other items that are once used throwaway at your local shops. Don't hang about. Ask for them. They will give you them and they'll be pleased to give you them. Okay, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, don't forget to click the subscribe button. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.